been dating my girlfriend for 3 years now. Let's call her Nikki. It all began innocently with a comment on one of her Instagram stories, leading to exchanges on Snapchat, and eventually, we met in person. Our relationship kicked off right after the holidays in January, and with Valentine's Day approaching, I felt fortunate to be spending it with someone special. However, as Valentine's Day drew near and Nikki and I went on a few dates, she confided in me about a stalker, a guy named Ben, a few years older than Nikki. Ben attended the same commuter college, met her during a group project, and started following her on campus. Shockingly, she hadn't involved the police. As Valentine's Day approached, Ben escalated his creepy texts, even leaving Russell Stover chocolates on her doorstep. Nikki decided to confront him, telling him to leave her alone, but she was concerned he might have obtained her address by following her home. I assured her I would do everything to keep her safe. Days later, Nikki shared a screenshot of texts from a fake number asking if I was the guy she was seeing. Now, I felt directly involved and uncomfortable. Nikki considered involving the police if the harassment continued, and I promised to accompany her if he reached out again. On Valentine's Day, we went out for dinner at a waterside restaurant. While dining outdoors, we noticed a person on a nearby bench with a hat pulled down, resembling Ben. Jokingly, Nikki suggested it might be him, but when he subtly looked in our direction and walked away, we grew uneasy. Later, back at my place, as things became intimate, Nikki heard a noise outside. I went to check, discovering a knocked-over stack of beach chairs. Investigating further, I noticed someone tall in the bushes, realizing it was Ben. Confronting him, I managed to keep him down until the police arrived. Nikki confirmed he was the harasser, and we discovered he wore the same colored shirt as the person from the restaurant. Ben was arrested for trespassing, and Nikki pressed charges for stalking and harassment. He paid a fine and received a misdemeanor. Nikki obtained an order of protection, ensuring his arrest if he contacted her again. While Ben was a relentless creep, we were relieved he didn't attempt to reach out after the incident. This happened 4 years ago, close to Valentine's Day. My boyfriend and I had planned a cute dinner date like many couples. As we entered the restaurant, a couple outside caught our attention, oddly staring at us. Inside, we gave our names for the wait list, expecting a 45-minute wait. The host promised to text us when our table was ready. Deciding to pass the time, my boyfriend suggested going to the mini golf across the street. Walking back to his car, the lady from the couple introduced herself as Mrs. Greddy. It felt weird, but I shook her hand. Mrs. Greddy, along with her husband, insisted we follow them to their photography studio, claiming a short drive and better photos. Red flags went off, and my boyfriend politely declined. Entering the mini golf place, we found it empty. We laughed off the odd encounter but remained uneasy. The place wasn't large, and we could see the front door from all levels. During our 5th round, the entrance bell rang, and to our horror, it was the same couple. Mrs. Greddy smiled creepily as we made eye contact. Feeling uncomfortable, we decided to wait in the car as 15 minutes had passed. They followed us with unsettling smiles, saying, "Crazy how we both came to this spot," said Mrs. Greddy. The husband mentioned a face-off between Greddy versus Rod, revealing my boyfriend's last name was Rods. Alarmed, we declined, fearing how they knew this information. Rushing out, we called it a night. After waiting 15 minutes in the car, discussing the bizarre situation, we received a text from the restaurant saying they were ready. During dinner, my boyfriend insisted on paying, and as I waited, I thought I saw Mrs. Greddy peeking around a corner. Deciding to head to his place after dinner, we noticed a car following us. In a CVS parking lot, the car disappeared, so we proceeded. On the tree-surrounded road to his house, 2 front tires suddenly popped. Realizing we were in danger, my boyfriend turned off the car and lights, locked the doors, and we hid in the woods. He called the police while we lay low. Mrs. Greddy arrived, expressing frustration for taking too long, but she left hurriedly. The police came, took our statement, and we were left wondering about their motives. 4 years later, nothing has surfaced, and we're now married, with a crazy story to tell our kids. During the fall semester of 2018, I took online classes at a prestigious college, knowing I would transfer to my hometown's 4-year university for the winter semester. Despite the impending move, I wanted to make new friends and, possibly, find someone to date, leading me to meet a girl on Tinder. She was cool, and we had a lot in common. Long story short, we started dating. and it was enjoyable until after her Thanksgiving break. Her behavior became noticeably meaner, with playful teasing turning into aggressive banter. No physical harm occurred, but the change was concerning. I attributed it to stress during finals. She went back home for winter break. We stayed in touch daily through texts, snaps, and occasional FaceTime. When the winter semester began, I moved into an apartment, and on the first night of classes, we decided to break up. Her homesickness, coupled with a lack of friends in town, led to our separation. After a few weeks, I felt less sad each day, realizing overlooked issues in the relationship. Approaching Valentine's Day, I reactivated my Tinder account to avoid loneliness during the holiday. 2 days before, I matched with a girl named Alex, who shared my preference for staying in. She had the same major as one of my best friends. Describing Alex as having shoulder-length blonde hair, cute glasses, freckles, and bright blue eyes, we decided to spend Valentine's Day together. The night went smoothly. McDonald's, a movie, and a stroll downtown. To spare you the details, we eventually ended up at my apartment, and things went well. Due to the snowy weather, Alex asked to spend the night. Around 3 a.m., Alex woke me up, heading to the bathroom. I fell back asleep. At 5:30 a.m., I noticed she wasn't in bed. I saw her standing in the dark, facing away from me. When I approached, she turned around abruptly, screamed, and started hitting me with no emotion on her face. Backing away, she continued screaming and hitting for about 30 seconds. She ran out after grabbing her clothes, leaving the front door wide open. I locked it, then discovered a foul smell from the bathroom, where she had smeared feces on the mirror. I called the police, but her Tinder and Snapchat profiles were deleted. I provided a screenshot of a Snapchat picture, but it had a filter. The police took a report and advised me to have a friend stay over. I called my friend Rob, who shared a class with Alex, and explained the situation. Rob and I watched a movie and fell asleep around midnight. I woke at 3 a.m. finding someone trying to open the front door. After a minute, it stopped. Peering through the peephole, nobody was there. Nothing has happened since, but it still creeps me out.